Shana Tova, Shabbat Shalom. If you're visiting from any other place around the country or world, and I know we have at least a few visitors from Canada and Louisiana, and rumor has it even Israel. I want to welcome all of you. My name is Rabbi Brian Zimmerman, and for our temple members, thank you for joining us. A reminder as we begin that this year we are using Gates of Repentance for this 1 year, our old prayer book. If you've got a hardcover copy somewhere in your house, you can go get it. If you borrowed one, if not, you can feel free to go to our website where you will find a direct link under High Holy Days, and you can go right there, and then at the bottom of the page, you can click in a page number, and it will take you right to where we are throughout the holiday. Or, as always, at any time during these holidays, you can just enjoy and listen. I'd also invite you to perhaps reach out to a friend if you're home alone. Maybe ask them to watch with you. Maybe if you're not using your phone, call them on the phone and listen and talk and say hello to one another. Anything we can do. So don't worry. I'm not going to lead the whole service dressed like this from my home. But I wanted to start here in my home, just like you, before I move to the temple. We know this year is different. And so this year will take some more work on all of our parts. It's true, you don't have to get dressed. You don't have to deal with traffic or how close your parking spot will be to the temple, or if you can get there early enough for your favorite seat. But it's going to take a different type of effort. The work of reflection, of staring face to face with ourselves. But it also is the work of hope, the work of celebration. We have made it through a year. Sometimes we did our best, and that was just enough to get us to this day. Although our temple staff has put many hours of work into these services, as has our president and our board and our custodians, none of it works without you. I know that for all of us, our homes have become our offices. Our playrooms have become our children's classrooms. Our safe spots in the home now covered with piles of books and bills. And now these spaces must become our sanctuary. And so I'd like to ask you to pick a place to watch these services, whether it's a couch or a breakfast table or a dining room. If there are piles of bills, move them out of the way. If there's school books, put them away. If the TV is on, unless it's connected to this service, turn it off. Multitasking will get in the way of the work that we have to do. If you are in one of these rooms and that room is full of stuff, make a space, clear it out. Maybe put some flowers on the table, or maybe grab a favorite Jewish object. Put some flowers on the table, a kiddush cup, maybe a tzedakah box, or a talit, a bar or bat mitzvah photo album, something of a loved one, something that connects you to the past. Maybe a glass of wine. If you start early, who's going to tell? After all, today is Shabbat, and it's Rosh Hashanah, not Yom Kippur. Get out your table candlesticks, your Shabbat candlesticks, if you can, and just transform your space. And finally, whether you're alone or with a friend or a family member, I want you to imagine yourself in your seat at temple with me. Who would you like to sit with? Maybe they live in another city. Maybe they're not even alive anymore. But they are in here if you invite them in. So think about that person for a moment. Imagine them sitting right next to you at temple. See their smile. Try to hear their voice. Maybe they have a specific scent that you still vaguely remember. Or maybe they always tell you the same joke right at the beginning of services or whisper to you during the rabbi's sermon. And if you're thinking, Rabbi, we just started, how can I do all this right now? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Something you can't do when you're at temple. You can hit the pause button and you can go get ready and you can create your own sacred space. And when you're ready to continue with us, we'll be right here at the temple waiting for you. And so now we turn to page 49 in our prayer book. We turn to the lighting of the Shabbat and Rosh Hashanah candles, and you can feel free to join with us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov.
And we add together this blessing, thanking you, God, for bringing us together with one another, even this way. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. And now we continue with some other members of our temple who'd like to offer some greetings to us.
Hi, I'm Howard Bellett, president of Beth-El congregation. My family and I would like to wish you and yours a sweet and healthy new year. Lashana Tova. We look forward to seeing you all soon.
Hi, I'm Eric Deutsch, the president of the MRJ of Beth-El congregation. And on behalf of the MRJ and the entire Deutsch family, I just want to wish everyone a very happy new year.
Hi, my name is Michelle Hartman. I'm the president of WRJ. Hopefully you all have had the opportunity to join WRJ this year. If not, get on the website or send in your application. We'd love to have you join us this year. And in the meantime, from my family to yours, Shana Tova.
Happy New Year from Flifty. I hope to see a lot of you in the new year.
And good Yontif from the Kreimler family. We're wishing you health, good health, happiness, prosperity, and a peaceful new year.
Happy New Year.
Challenging is an understatement. In the past week, we've commemorated the terrible events 19 years ago on September 11th. This past week, we've seen images of terrible loss of life and property across the western part of our country. At a time when Israel is going into a second nationwide lockdown again because of COVID, even as many of them were planning to go to temples just like us, they are praying from their homes again. Some of our members are isolated and far from family. As parents and children gather for the holidays, family members who love each other dearly but need a break from each other. We are not in temple together, but still we can come together. And so before we go into the temple, before we embark on this strange journey, although we have been as Jews on many strange journeys together over the centuries, I want to say a word about the Jewish tradition of kriya, of tearing a ribbon or an object of clothing at a time of grieving. The custom goes back thousands of years, all the way to the Bible. Jacob tears his clothes. He rends when he hears that his son Joseph has been killed. David and his soldiers tear their clothes when hearing of the death of Saul and Jonathan. Job rends his clothes. Children, parents, siblings, and spouses would tear their clothes when they lost a loved one. Somewhere along the way, it became the custom of a ribbon placed over our heart or the other side as a sign that people would know that we were in mourning. And there are a lot of reasons given for this custom. It is practical. If you go to a Shiva home, if you meet someone and you see this ribbon on, you know they're an immediate mourner and you can be sensitive. It's also a sign that we are incomplete. We don't put that sorrow, that anger, that hurt into ourselves, and we don't put it into those around us. So it's a very practical and important symbol, but it also has an important message to tell. The ribbon is so that what we feel, what pulls us apart, goes here, instead of here or out here. Now, the point is not to depress you, not to bring you down, just the opposite. The point is to acknowledge that we are torn. There is a tear in our soul and our spirit, even if no one else can see it. And so, before we begin, we need to think about the tears of this year, because there's a lot to do in the next 10 days, and it's serious. And if we're not honest, it won't work. Quarantined or not, homebound or not, Judaism's demands on us are no less. They do not go away. We have an obligation to each other, to our faith, and most of all, to future generations. L'dor vador, Judaism does not cease because of the past year. We find a way. Through wars, through constant wanderings, through traumatic acts of hate, destruction of our sacred spaces, we have always adapted. We have changed how we live, the ways in which we have expressed our Judaism, but we have maintained our values, our hopes, our dreams for the future. As a people, we have suffered, but we have never let the world destroy our optimism, our hope for tikkun, repair. But before we can do any of that, we have to be honest for this to work. Rosh Hashanah is about honesty. How can we change ourselves if we continue the exhausting work of deluding ourselves as we do so often during the year? And so we must begin with a declaration of honesty with ourselves. How can we repair the rifts in our families, our communities, our world, if we are still deluding ourselves? So let's start with the truth. We carry within each of us a ripped piece of our heart. Whether we wear it every day or we deny it through our anger at the world or our isolation, not only now when it is required, but emotional isolation imposed long before this quarantine began. Or perhaps we just pretend every day that everything's okay. Let us move forward these next few days. We will speak of forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, coming forward to our faith, to our community. We will speak of obligations to family and friends, obligations that do not disappear in hard times. But it all begins with an acknowledgement of the ways in which we are torn. And so, for those who are alone, for those who are lost, for those who pretend to be okay, for those who cannot shake the sadness, for those engulfed in fires of personal rage, for those who have lost in the past year, for those who are still alive and breathing, but may be lost to us, for our country, for our families, for ourselves. We acknowledge the tear. And now, come with me. Come with your friends. Come with your loved ones, your memories and your hopes, your pain and your joy. Hold them in your mind. Bind them on your heart and your hands, and bring them with you as we invite you to join us inside in the synagogue together. Page 51, we read responsively. In the twilight of the vanishing year, we lift up our hearts in thanksgiving.
Our souls are stirred by the memory of joy as the new year begins.
We were sustained by love and kindness, comforted in times of sorrow, found happiness in our homes and gladness with our friends. We lift up our hearts in thanksgiving as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, our spirits rise in grateful song.
But there were dreams that came to naught, and times when we refused to dream. These, with much regret, we now remember as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, contrition fills our thoughts.
Some of our days have been dark with grief. Many a tear furrowed our cheeks. Alas, for the tender ties that were broken. We look back with sorrow as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, tears well up within us.
And yet, even amidst all of this, we look ahead with hope, giving thanks for the daily miracle of renewal, for the promise of good to come. May this Rosh Hashanah, birthday of the world, be the beginning of our day and our year of rebirth into life and peace, serenity and safety as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, so is hope reborn with us.
B'chodesh hashvi'i be'echad lachodesh yeh lachem Shabbaton zichron trua mikra kodesh kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu. In the seventh day, on the first day of the month, a sacred assembly, a cessation from work, a day of commemoration proclaimed by the sound of the shofar. Tiku v'chodesh shofar b'chesa leyom hegenu ki chok Yisrael hu. Mishpat le'Elohei Yaakov, sound the shofar when the new year appears, at the turning of the year, at the returning of our solemn celebration. For this is a statute binding on Israel, an ordinance of the God of Jacob.
Shivarim. Teruah, Tekiah Gedolah,
At the bottom of page 53, Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotinu ve'imotinu Shid chadash aleinu v'al kol beit Yisrael et hashana zot shnat chameshet alafim ushfa me'ot v'shmonim ve'echat l'chayim u'l'shalom l'sason u'l'simcha l'shual nechama v'nomar Amen. May this new year called 5781 bring to us and the whole house of Israel life and peace, joy and exaltation, redemption and comfort.
May this new year bring us life and peace, joy and exaltation, redemption and comfort. Amen.
Amen. We continue with the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Mevorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach Leolam Vaed.
And we turn to page 56 as we continue with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. shall love your eternal God with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all of my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God.
And we continue with the prayer of freedom our ancestors sang as they crossed from Egypt to the promise that await. Page 58.
Mi chamocha b'alim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar bar kodesh, norat ha'ilot osech elei, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze li'avnu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad kazanu menu, Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch hu Baruch shemo, Geal Israel.
Amen.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Cause us, O eternal God, to lie down in peace, and raise us up, our sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help.
Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war and famine and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful ruler, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. Guard our coming and our going, that now and always we have life and peace.
Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, O God, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all Israel, and over Jerusalem. And that shelter of peace is felt no more intently, no more passionately than the joy of Shabbat. It is Rosh Hashanah, but it is also Shabbat. And we join together at the bottom of the page, V'shamru.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam brit olam, beni u'vein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam brit olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam brit olam, וביום השביעי שבת, שבת, וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם לשמרו. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya-la-lai, lai, lai, 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 ya-la-lai, lai, lai. Adonai Sephataif Chiftach Ufi Agita Hilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise, so I may declare your praise. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וצוחר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah.
Remember us unto life, O Sovereign who delights in life, and inscribe us in the book of life, O God of life.
Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch Baruch Shelo, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah. Amen.
We continue at the bottom of page 61. Responsively. Love is the thread that binds our lives into a lasting fabric, which time shall fray.
Which time shall fray, but only to be rewoven by each generation.
Each generation will lift the fallen to their feet and hold them as they learn to walk.
And as they learn to walk, the sickness of our time will be healed by those who drink deep from the ancient wells of truth.
From ancient wells of truth, they draw strength to keep faith with those who sleep in the dust.
We praise the source of life and power who has implanted within us immortal yearning, undying hopes.
Page 64. Atav v'chartanu mikol ha'amim ahavta otanu v'ratzita banu v'romam tanu mikol ha'shanot. The house of Israel is called to holiness, to a covenant with the eternal for all time. We are called to serve the Most High. May we rejoice in this heritage forever. May this day add meaning to our lives. Let the shofar sound awaken the voice of conscience. Our common worship unite us in love. Our memories of bondage impel us to help the oppressed. We take a moment for silent prayer and reflection on the next few pages. Reminder that in the back of the book, many of our key prayers are transliterated beginning on 535 and over the next 7 or 8 pages, including Avinu Malkeinu, which is on 540. But we turn in our prayer book to page 69. Avinu Malkeinu brings us into the holidays in a way that, if nothing else has, we are suddenly there with the majesty and the mystery, the despair and the hope of life. We plead our case as we stand before the ark, as we turn to Avinu Malkeinu. Page 69.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Kamol aleinu, Ve'al aleinu, Ve'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kal
We read together in English. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have sinned against you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our children. Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to sickness, war, and famine. Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to all oppression. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us for blessing in the book of life. Avinu Malkeinu, let the new year be a good year for us. Avinu Malkeinu, give strength to your people Israel. Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious and answer us, for we have little merit. Treat us generously and with kindness, and be our help.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vanenu, Ki ein banu masim, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu.
Hello, I'm Howard Bellett. As president of Beth-El, I would have preferred to be talking to you as part of a sanctuary filled with both familiar and new faces. To start, I'd like to thank all of you for being part of our Beth-El community, for your support and patience during these extraordinary times. I give special thanks to Rabbi Zimmerman, our temple leadership, board members, our professional staff members who have all made decisions about things that didn't even exist 6 months ago. Along with many of our members, you've created pathways for engagement and promoted new forms of programming and virtual experiences that have allowed our Beth-El family to remain connected and involved. Congregations across the world are doing something they've never done before at this most special, heightened, holy, pressure-filled time of the year, and I'm going to ask you all to do even more. Take note of the hard work everyone continues to put in to do the best possible job of maintaining our community and creating moments of connection, celebration, and observance. These are times of incredibly high stress for everyone involved. Noticing all of this, I ask you for added compassion right now for each other and for ourselves. Serve up extra doses of forgiveness and gratitude. Mistakes will be made. Perfection is not the goal of our high holy days this year. Video feeds may be dropped. Audio will get out of sync. Someone will have a power failure or lose their internet connection. Someone's child or pet, or maybe even the construction crew next door, will interrupt the flow. The sermon may not hit the note you had hoped, and the sound of your computer speakers will not be as good as it would have been here in the sanctuary. Let's prepare our "it's okay, we know you care" on our "trying so hard" lines right now. I might even suggest you consider saying that aloud. Expressing extra gratitude and forgiveness is more appreciated this year than ever before. Change your expectations. For many of us, the distinctions between work and personal life has been blurred because we're working from home. This hits each person differently, but people in crowded homes are under more pressure than those with space. People who are alone may be feeling a different pain. We all have different challenges, and now that children may be back in virtual classrooms, parents could possibly be facing additional stressors. We need to be sensitive to all of these different situations. We must continue to be caring and compassionate towards one another. It is still not safe for us to gather in person, and for many, it may not be safe to do so for some time. Don't compare High Holy Day experiences. We've created something extremely new for this year. There's no rule book for what we're doing. It will be unique and special, and it's possible that not everything will work. Be appreciative, and remember, in the end, it's not production values that matter, but finding ways to be together while safely apart. We all need to find time to shut down. Take time and give yourselves a break. By taking some of my comments to heart, I hope we will strengthen our community and Beth-El family. Strong communities are sacred communities, and sacred communities are those in which people care for one another. In caring for each other and allowing each to do simply the best we can realistically do, we'll be able to withstand the added stress of these pandemic times. When we emerge from them, I know we will be able to regroup and make our Beth-El family stronger than it has ever been. From my family to yours, we wish you Shana Tova Umatuka, a sweet and healthy new year.
We continue at the Aleinu, page 72.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינה וזאת בגויים מרומים, ואלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
On this Shabbat, we turn to memory the challenges of this year. Make it a little harder, that distance, and yet we remember. We know we're not alone. We know the whole world remembers, not only on this Rosh Hashanah, but on this Shabbat. The light of their lives burns for us, the lessons they taught, the experiences we shared. On this Shabbat, we think not only of all we have lost in this past year and the years before, but we must mention those whose yortzites are observed, the anniversaries of their deaths on this Friday night. And so we mention the names of Jenny Labovitz-Baum, Jerry Berkowitz, Ben Bernstein, Libby Blumberg, Carrie Endel-Bryn, Jeannie Brown, Joe Cohen, Moses Cohen, Joyce Juilliard, Herman Foreman, Jacob Frankel, Julia Gernsbacher, Molly Litwin-Glast, Albert V. Halpern, Sarah P. Horwitz, Minnie K. Kahn, Sam Letwin, Ellie A. Levy, Morris Mallon, Bernice Gans-Mayer, Val Pickle, Louis Richker, Francis Rothstein, Vera Saperstein, Lena Schiff, Jack Schuster, Paul Schwartz, Merwin J. Sherline, Eugene Steinberger, William Tan, Molly Tobolowski, Ronald Wolf, Clara Zach, Meyer Zevin. As we think of them and all others we hold in our hearts, we turn to page 73, the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach erutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chaye echon u'vyom echon u'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalal v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach li'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitala shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiram v'yalmal v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace, of strength, of healing and wholeness bring these blessings to all who are in need, wherever we may be. And may we all say together, wherever we are, amen. Thank you, Hans, thank you, John, thank you to our wonderful streamers, Jeff and Carl and Jay and Mark. There are many others to thank, and I'll take some time to do that tomorrow during our services. Just a couple of words. First, services begin at 10 a.m. tomorrow, although you've probably discovered by now that if you wait a little while, you can tune in whenever you wish, as these services will be available after on our Beth-El YouTube channel. In addition, we asked people to sign up in advance for our 9:30 or 10:30 or 11:30 drive-through shofar service, where you can park and listen in your radio, or I guess crack your window a little and hear us as we join in songs and in the sound of the shofar. If you've not yet RSVP'd, it just means if you show up and the first set of spots are taken, we will just ask you to be a little farther, a little bit back, although we do want you to join us for that. And finally, a reminder that all this week we will be on different days bringing different shofar blowers to different homes of those who are homebound. And we will be waving to you and blowing the shofar. If you have not responded to that yet, it just means you might be bound by whatever day we're in your neighborhood. But if you didn't know about this, don't worry. Just email me before Monday and say, I'd love someone to come to my house. Here's the neighborhood I live in. And I'll let you know which day and which time we'll be there, because we want to be there with you at half shofar. We'll travel. We want to come to your home. We want you to know you're not alone, and we'll wave to you and you'll hear it outside. If you know someone who doesn't have access to the computer and isn't able to hear this, please let me know so we can come to their home and share this joy with them. Finally, as our service concludes, a reminder that after our concluding song, some of our families and members of our congregation have greetings to share with you. We hope you'll stay and listen to those. But first, our closing song, From Generation to Generation. I want to thank Dace, our cellist, and John, and Hans, our pianist, and Jared, and Molly and Caroline. However challenged you feel, from generation to generation, Rosh Hashanah gives us the hope, the opportunity, the chance to know that each generation continues and the future is in front of us. Opportunity, healing, wholeness. L'dor v'ador nagid gadlacha. The generations of the future proclaim your glory and carry us up on them. May God watch all of us as we look l'dor v'ador.
Shana Tova. Happy New Year. My name is David Beckerman, and I serve on the Beth-El Board of Directors. This is my wife, Erica. This is Elliot,
Hi.
Dylan, Landry, and Levi. From our family to yours, Happy New Year!
Hi, I'm Mark Sloter, and I'm on the worship committee at Beth-El Congregation. On behalf of the entire Sloter family,
L'Shana Tova.
Hi, I'm David Eberstein, board member here at Beth-El. On behalf of Valerie, Simon, Charlotte, Buddy, and Millie, we want to wish you and your family a Happy New Year, and I hope that 5781 is filled with health, happiness, and peace. God bless.
Hi, Happy New Year. L'Shana Tova from Jacob and John Rosenthal.
L'Shana Tova. I'm Eddie Feld. I was Beth-El president from 2013 through 2015. On behalf of my wife Debbie, Chloe, and Addison, the Felds would like to wish you and yours a very happy, healthy, and safe new year ahead, and look forward to when we'll be able to see you again at the temple. Thank you.
Apples dipped in honey for Rosh Hashanah. On behalf of the Kaikov family, we want to wish everyone a sweet, happy, and healthy new year. L'Shana Tova u'metuka.
L'Shana Tova Tikatevu. Happy New Year.